So, who wants to answer that? Sean. By the way, this is Sean McNamara, who is the director. Good, nice job.
I think Bethany should answer that, right? Yeah, there you go.
It's on.
Hello? Okay. Actually, my parents met in Hawaii, and then they stayed there. But, as far as the movie, my family and I are very happy with it. You know, we went through a lot of scripts over the years, and they were terrible. So we finally got to a script that like was worth reading and something we could work with. And from there, we worked very hard to, you know, fix up scenes that weren't accurate or just didn't have the feel of us. Because really, what it is putting the emotion and everything that we went through, good and bad, and putting that into a film. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm stoked with it. And the duck dive was definitely Sean's artwork.
Wait a minute, do you duck dive under waves?
I don't duck dive under other people usually.
All right, that's good. She's right there.
But our doctor was incredible, and he is an amazing man, and I surf with him to this day. Like, he's a surfer, and he's super cool. Like, and that guy's a good friend from home, the guy that played him. So we love that. We love that part of the film.
I gotta say something real quick. I love her honesty because she's a very, very honest person. But there's not many writers who want to hear that the scripts are horrible. We fight them all the time.
Other questions? Because I have a few questions for them that I think you might like to know, but for now, yes.
Did your father ever get his knee surgery? Kind of lost that.
That's a good question.
Yes, I did. I got my knee surgery about a week and a half after the attack.
I just wanted to note there, you know, I guess it's not Reuters, but not Hollywood Reporter. Variety. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, Variety, they didn't think that part of the movie was true. They thought that was way too sensationalized, but he hadn't done his research, I guess. But he kind of wrote off the movie on that part, thinking it was too unbelievable. But it's true to how you see it right in the movie. Oh, except for they didn't cross paths, because my dad, he got wheeled into another room, forgotten about. We forgot about him. When it visited him, didn't tell him what it really had happened. He just knew it was it was a shark attack. He didn't get details. He didn't know Bethany lost her arm until he went to visit her after the surgery at her bedside.
Yes, Joe.
The cinematography is rather extraordinary. And I'm curious if you could talk a little bit about how you actually, the process of photographing, how did you keep tracking with her? What was the process that you went through? You're director of cinematography.
Sure. Well, first of all, it's John Leonetti. He was our DP, and he's just unbelievably talented, so he's amazing. But pretty much on all the surfing scenes, we had 3 cameras. One on the beach, one on the back of a jet ski, so it would ride right next to Bethany or whoever was surfing at the time. And then Don King was another incredible DP, was in the water. So they would surf right by him. And I don't know why they didn't hit him, because they're just so talented, but that's how they got those incredible angles.
Was this shot visually?
No, this was shot 35 millimeter.
And then also like for the close-ups that we would do, because I didn't do the surfing Bethany did, but for like the close-ups where you see me, they'd have a jet ski and then, but they'd have the jet ski and then the camera guy would be on the back of the jet ski and then there would be a sled and then I or Lorraine or whoever, like whatever the actor was, we'd lay down on the sled and then they'd catch the wave and then we'd stand up and like balance on the back of the sled. And then, so it kind of, I mean, we weren't really surfing, but we still had to like, yeah, but it felt like it.
They
Like, we
weren't
had to
real
keep
waves, it wasn't
our
real
balance, and if we fell off, we were like in the white water, which was, it actually ended up being really fun, so.
No.
No?
No?
Yeah, he was.
I gotta say, they took me out there for at least 5 or 6 hours and beat the hell out of me. And it was tough. It was, I mean,
I did it for
God
3
bless you,
days.
you guys do. But yeah, I know,
It
you
was
don't do it a lot. You don't do it a lot. I mean, but the thing is, they use some of your footage. And these waves are, I mean, you're on the back of this sled, and the guy's right there, and you hold on to this rope, so you're standing up on your knees, basically. And you look back, and you see this 10 to 12-foot wall coming, and I want to turn, you can go now. You can start going. I mean, it was really, you get beat up. It's unbelievable what these guys do. I mean, in the real waves, I just went, I grew up in Minnesota, we don't have a lot of waves. So, you know, people ice fish, which I don't get.
Phil?
Bethany, was it difficult for you to watch the scene with the shark?
It actually wasn't really that difficult. I healed really well from the whole shark attack thing. It's been 8 years and I'm thankful for that. But it was challenging working with everyone who had their own picture of how the shark attack should be, you know, portrayed. And so I didn't want to overly dramatize and like to scare people of sharks. And but it was very like really similar to how it actually happened. So that was kind of cool. And I think it's okay for like young kids, you know, to see and not be totally like freaked out.
Yes, ma'am.
Bethany, I am so inspired by your life. I have to say that. I have a question. A lot of talk about waiting on the big wave in your life when you were surfing. And I would like to know how your ability to wait on that wave, the timing, helped you to get this movie done.
Oh my gosh, it's been a long, like 5 years, I would say. And I guess just trusting in God and knowing that He is ultimately the artist of everything. And yeah, just having patience and perseverance and unity. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I have a question for the actors. Let's see, that would be Kevin and Anna Sophia, and I'm sorry, is it Arlene?
Arlene.
Yeah, okay. Bethany's story's obviously had a big impact on a lot of people in terms of the story of faith and determination. Very inspiring. It's inspired me personally. If I ever get discouraged, I mean, of course, I want to go to the Bible and the Lord, but obviously, you think about Bethany, it's kind of a great encouragement to keep going. And I wondered if you have any thoughts about how meeting her, hearing her story might have affected you personally. I don't know if you have to answer, but I'd just be curious about your reactions about that.
Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible story, but knowing Bethany is even cooler because, like, we're just friends, you know, I feel like they're my second family, sort of. But it's weird, you know, when, you know, I go down to Hawaii and over Christmas break and, you know, she's just my friend, and then all of a sudden we start doing press, and then I forget about all the stuff that's happened to her, you know, because it's not like we talk about it all the time, you know? And then just to like hear her talk and get to know the family and just figure out like, I mean, how much they really have overcome and how, I mean, we kept this story, I mean, Bethany was so positive in the hospital and positive throughout the whole experience and just has brought a light to so many people around the world that it's definitely, I mean, definitely the message that is ingrained throughout the entire script is, you know, about looking at the bigger perspective in life and not kind of focusing on the smaller things, but moving on towards the bigger kind of picture that God has for each of us, so. Yeah.
And I think Bethany's such an inspiration. I work with a lot of children and youth groups in Vacation Bible School, and they all want to know about Bethany, and they adore Bethany. And she's given a lot of her stuffed animals from when she was in the hospital and her books to a lot of the children that are in foster care, and they are so excited to see her movie this weekend. So she's touched so many lives, I don't even know if she's really gasped how she's affected. And us as actors, you know, personally I've had to go through some tragedy in the past year, and when I look at Bethany and the fact that she overcame, she lost her arm, and yet she still has the strength to trust in God through it, and to get back on a surfboard and surf professionally, you know, I can handle my little things. Yes.
What they say. Yeah, I talked to a couple of you about this last night, even today. When I heard the story of Bethany, I was at home, and where was I? I was up in Vancouver at the time. I was shooting my series up there, and I got angry. I don't know why I got angry. This little 13-year-old girl got attacked, and it wasn't like blaming anybody in particular. I just got very angry about it. I told my wife that. I said, it just makes me mad that stuff like that happens. And here it is 7 years later, when we were shooting it, and to meet with Sean and to have the script come to me, and I just thought, what a weird sort of circle for me to experience. But to have a 13-year-old act that way after the attack and use it as a positive instead of a negative, because so many people don't use negatives in the right way. I learned years ago that no can be a positive thing in your life, depends on how you want to deal with it. And there's not many people double, triple, quadruple her age that would have done what she did. They would have been self-pity, they would have felt sorry for themselves. She goes out there and shows the world that she can be a beacon for God and a beacon for Jesus and come out with such a positive message for the rest of the world. It's unbelievable. And as I have found out through life, everybody does have a story, and she's an amazing example to follow if something negative does happen to you. So my hat's off to her.
Yes, Lauren.
This is really just a technical question. How did you do It's really just a technical question about the special effects. How you made Anna's arm actually look like Bethany's. And
how we removed her arm in the yeah. We, do you remember Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump? That's when they created the technology, and he wore blue socks, and then they stepped away and they shot the plate. Well, when we shot this, I said, I don't want to freeze the camera. From the point she gets attacked to the point that she stands up on the board, it was always a handheld camera. It was very unsettling, it was purposefully. And I said, we have to figure out the technology to make sure that we can make it look right. So Dan Schmidt, our effects guy, figured out a way to do that. He built a prosthetic that was actually based on Bethany's shoulder, and they put that on Anna Sophia every single day. And then she wore a green sock, and she'd shoot the entire scene till we were happy with it. And then she had to shoot the entire scene with her arm over her head so we could rebuild her torso. Then all the other actors had to act without Anna Sophia, and so we could shoot the background and the people. And then artists redrew the background on every single shot. There's 750 shots. Each one had about 15 versions of them to make them perfect behind her. So that's technically, it took 4 extra months to finish this movie just to make that come true. And I said, it's a visual effects movie, and I just ultimately hope that nobody noticed how we did her arm.
I mean, it was that simple. Yes, up there, sir.
It's a rare occasion when I get an opportunity to express my thanks to someone in the media for touching my life. And I want you to know that when this incident happened to you, and I heard about it, and I understood how you were dealing with it, it really did touch my life. So I thank you very much for being an inspiration to me. And I also want to ask a question regarding the script.